I am confused. Our next stop will bring us to Dr. Ryan Smith. Welcome, Ryan.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. I am so excited. When they said that we had Dr. Smith confirmed, I was like, yes. So for all of our viewers around the world who are going to watch this video, I want them first to know where you're located at and also just a little bit about Dr. Ryan Smith.
Okay. So hello, everyone. Dr. Ryan Smith. I'm an instructor of medicine here at Emory University, and I'm based in the pulmonary section at the VA Medical Center, and I hold joint appointment here at the VA as well as at Emory University.
No, keep going.
So a little bit about myself. I completed my PhD at the University of Alabama in Birmingham, actually in redox biology with my PhD was in experimental pathology, and then moved to Emory for my postdoc under the guidance of Doctors Dean Jones and Young Go, who are internationally recognized experts in metabolism as well as environmental toxicology. And it's really that love of environmental toxicology that kind of led me to pulmonary hypertension. Although I'd like to say I'm kind of a relatively newbie in the field, being only in it for the last year to 2 years. I like to think bringing my expertise in redox biology as well as pharmacology and toxicology can maybe bring some new insights into the field of pulmonary hypertension.
Amazing. Now, for those people who have not heard of Emory, although that will be very few, but can you tell them where it's located?
Sure. So Emory University is located in Atlanta, Georgia. Pretty much this upper to central Georgia. So right in the hub of Atlanta.
Yep, it's a beautiful area. My daughter graduated from Agnes Scott in Decatur, so I'm very familiar.
My wife, I was an instructor there actually before moving on to Kennesaw State. So
So, on this journey, I've not met many people that are doing as knowledgeable, right, as you are about pulmonary hypertension. So when did you first hear those two words, pulmonary hypertension, and what was that journey like for you as you continue your work?
That's actually a really interesting question, I guess, because I'm relatively new in the field. So I would say the first heard about pulmonary hypertension about 1.5 years ago, where a lot of my work, I was working with environmental exposures, especially with veterans who suffer from things like burn pits and things like that. And really kind of started leading down that road of environmental contributions to lung disease. And so I started working with some renowned pulmonologist here at the VA, Dr. Charles Hart, and we've started putting some ideas together, kind of combining my expertise and his expertise in pulmonary hypertension, and started coming up with some new ideas to start pushing the field a little bit and kind of understanding the metabolism of pulmonary hypertension across different subjects, as well as the different subtypes, as well as trying to identify if we can find any new targets that are amenable to therapy.
Amazing, amazing. And so with that being said, what has that been like for you? What's a day in the life of Dr. Ryan Smith?
So usually first thing in the mornings, I kiss my daughter goodbye for work. But then when I get here, we have a variety of models, both animal models and cell models of pulmonary hypertension. And then I work with some of the phenomenal pulmonologists here at Emory as well as the VA. And so we sometimes have subjects that come in for blood draws, and we start doing a series of biochemical tests to try to identify any novel biomarkers or trying to understand the mechanism of pulmonary hypertension. Because if we can do that, we can figure out a way to treat it and ultimately cure the disease.
Amazing. So for people that are watching, we're going to have people that have never heard of pulmonary hypertension. So based upon the work that you do, how would you define pulmonary hypertension? I've asked several people that question.
So pulmonary hypertension is, I would say, a plethora of different diseases of the heart and the lungs. But to me, pulmonary hypertension is the unproliferative, unrestricted growth of the smooth muscle cells of the heart that ultimately lead to constriction. And It is fortunately a very terrible disease, and as well as very costly to the caregivers as well as the individual themselves, and reducing quality of life.
Thank you. So if your research is successful, what would this look like in the next 10 years?
So if my research is successful in the next 10 years, we hopefully will have some compounds that will, that our goal is to try to use ones that are already on the market and repurpose them. And so hopefully to have the data available to start clinical trials and to try and correct some of the metabolic deficits that we've begun to identify in pulmonary hypertension subjects, to try and correct those defects in those cells and try to ultimately, if not improve the quality of life, but to cure pulmonary hypertension.
Absolutely. So what are some of your most recent publications?
So we had some most recently we're looking at different carbohydrate chains involved with pulmonary hypertension, looking at how they impact mitochondrial health. So the powerhouse of the cell, of course, is involved with many both healthy processes as well as diseases. So we've been looking at that. We have several more that we're currently working on, looking at specific enzymes involved with pulmonary hypertension. And then kind of offshoot of pulmonary hypertension and other lung diseases, we're looking at a series of environmental chemicals that are involved with lung fibrosis, but they do also have some related interest in pulmonary hypertension too. So we'll be probably moving those insights into the pulmonary hypertension field soon.
Amazing. Just amazing work that you are doing. So in terms of patients, how do people find you all? What's the referral process like?
So I'm not really involved with the referral, but I know Emory University has one of the largest pulmonary hypertension centers in Georgia, if not the Southeast. So many people often referred to, especially with lung disease or pulmonary hypertension, to that center. And the pulmonologists that we do work with are some of the best that I've ever seen, and so it's an amazing job to work with them on day in, day out. But usually, if they qualify for some of our studies, they contact me and we start working together to set up the time for like blood draws and then other chemical tests.
I love it, and I'm sure people are watching like in amazement, and they're probably researching you right now so they can pull up those articles and different things that you're doing. Our mantra is awareness, empowerment, and hope. Together, we can make a difference. And our target audience for the nonprofit, which is the RBW PH Awareness Group, we look at patients, caregivers, medical professionals, and the community. You're working with all of these target audiences. So when you consider that mantra, awareness, empowerment, and hope, together we can make a difference. What words of wisdom would you give to someone like myself who is on this journey to interview 100 people?
I would definitely give words of encouragement and hope. I mean, we are every day we're trying to push the envelope of what we do and do not know about pulmonary hypertension. And even though there is still much we don't know yet, it's a daily grind, but we are trying to figure it out. And I know many scientists around the world are trying to, from different angles, trying to figure out all the etiologies and how best we can help the patients who suffer from it, as well as the caregivers who care for someone with pulmonary hypertension. So I would say my words are, don't lose hope. We are doing the best we can as hard as we can, and do not forget every day that we're trying our best to solve the problem.
Beautiful and inspiring. So thank you for your work and for your service, right? Because as you already know, it's a smaller population. It doesn't always get the spotlight or attention that we need to put. So your work is just amazing. I'm sending you a virtual beating heart for that. Dr. Smith, I've asked you so many questions, but is there anything that you want to share that I have not asked you as it relates to pulmonary hypertension?
I'd say it's been a very fascinating new journey for me, and as I kind of take it in every day, I learn something new about it, and hopefully I can translate what I know and what I learned into something that ultimately will help others. down the road, whether it be a year from now or 5 to 10 years. Everything that I do, I try to ultimately, with that outset, that it will eventually help someone.
What gives you hope in your work?
I would say actually the team that I work with. I mean, these are some phenomenal clinicians and scientists, and seeing their passion for what we all do together as a team to try to all come together as a single team to kind of combat the issue of pulmonary hypertension. It gives me hope. There's so many smart people in the world that are really trying to solve the issue.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you again for being here with me today. How can people contact you, or not even contact if that's not the right question, but how do they find out more about your work? Do they just go to PubMed? How can they follow you in your journey? Because what you're doing is cutting edge.
I would say PubMed probably would be the fastest route, but I also have my LinkedIn at Ryan Smith 1, and so I mean I always try to post regularly there. And then, as well as the team I work with, we share a Twitter page at the Clinical Biomarkers Laboratory, Emory, and so we try to always post new events with both pulmonary hypertension and other projects that we're involved with on those social media platforms.
I love it. So we can find you on LinkedIn. We can follow the Twitter page. So everyone, Ryan has shared that Twitter page. Go like that page, retweet it, retweet some of the content and the research that they're doing, because it's going to take all of us to spread awareness. It takes every single one of us. So we can't do this work alone. So
takes a village.
It takes a village. And you heard it first from Dr. Smith. So thank you again for being here with me. I truly appreciate you. And for our viewers around the world, you've just met Dr. Ryan Smith, who is doing amazing research and work. You know how to follow up and follow his pages and his work. So please share this video with other people, because we need your help to increase awareness of pulmonary hypertension. Until next time, I'm Dr. Catherine Y. Brown, your host, and you know I am on this journey, and I am going to reach 100 voices of pulmonary hypertension. So until next time, friends, I will see you all soon. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much, Ryan. I appreciate you.
No problem.
Oh, yeah.